Hey, what's up guys? It's Telly Tay checking in again for another weekly edition of the Lowdown. This is a special week because the resorts are opening around here and it's our annual Freeheel Friday sale. So now through Monday, November 30th, we got a coupon code for you guys, FREEHEEL FRIDAY. This would be good for basically 20% off everything on our store. So if you're looking to get something new to kickstart your winter, take advantage of the coupon code. A lot of this stuff has been just absolutely flying out the door. So some of the stuff, quantities are limited. So if you're looking at upgrading this year, I would get on it. This includes skis, boots, bindings, backpacks, goggles, skins, t-shirts, hats, you name it. Pretty much everything minus used gear, we got you for some deals. Today, I wanted to talk about Outlaw X. Specifically, what I wanted to talk about is why this is my favorite of the NTN binding specifically, but basically this is the best Telemark binding I've ever skied on for what type of skiing I do. So, with Outlaw X, 22 Designs absolutely hit the nail on the head in terms of an NTN binding. When I first made the jump from the NTN, I was skiing on the Rottefella Freerides. I made it work. I was a fan of it for a while, but that learning curve transition time was a little bit different. I came from Black Diamond bindings and 22 Designs bindings on my 75mm series, and I kind of got used to the feel of that gear, right? I mean, especially as Telemark skiers, we all have a certain personal preference as to how boots and bindings flex. Varying levels of stiffness, varying levels of pivot position, meaning where that binding is actually flexing underneath our foot. And when I first clicked into the original prototype of this, the spring before the original Outlaw was released, first run on it, I thought, okay, yeah, this is the one I need. I need a pair of those because I felt like I still had all the lateral stability of the NTN system. Like we've talked about this in the past, like the biggest thing I noticed from, a ski performance standpoint is lateral stability. Like any sort of cable binding, even these 22 Designs that are super awesome, powerful 75mm bindings, there's just a little bit of twist and play going on laterally. So it's like, as I get into that turn, I can kind of feel that binding like torque this way. And, when I first made the jump to NTN, I really got used to having that really firm lateral control where it was like from brain to boots to ski edges, that transfer was just a little more instant. So I really felt connected with edges and really felt connected to my skis and thought I really had, control over my skis, allowing me to do whatever turn I want and really have, a really good experience on the Telemark gear. With Outlaw X, I think the biggest thing that makes that NTN transition easy for most people is the fact that you feel that spring tension right off the deck and the flex pattern is very smooth. Like if we were looking at kind of a curve of like how certain bindings deliver power, I think this one, you feel that right off the deck and then it gets, progressively stiffer and it doesn't really have an end. It kind of just tapers off. I've skied some other NTN bindings, like specifically these. I feel like there's a little bit of a dead spot on the free rides where it's like I don't quite feel that spring tension right off the deck. And then I feel the springs and then there's kind of like a hard stopping point. So I really liked the fluidity of this. I also like how much adjustment you have with the spring tension here. So, you and I may end up skiing on the same bindings despite the fact that our preferences for gear may be different. So on this Outlaw X, I definitely think the step-in is obviously a nice luxury. Like we can talk about the ski performance and feeling that, spring tension, adjustment, you got 1 to 5 settings on the spring tension, you have a stiff spring kit, so super customizable because you essentially have 10 different spring settings. And then combine that with the flex of, different boot options. We can definitely create a Telemark sensation in that turn that works for you. You know, the step in on these is I think very easy. This particular display model has the brakes on it, which the brakes can be kind of polarizing for some people because, you know, I'll admit the brakes are not perfect, but for me, having the brakes and dealing with, you know, some issues of the fact that the brake tab, you know, here is trying to push me this way when I'm trying to get that boot this way. So sometimes if I don't get this perfectly lined up, you know, this new Outlaw X style claw is more forgiving in terms of the step in, because if I step down and I don't quite get everything lined up properly, you know, we've got here, I got to get that brake tab forward, get that NTN connection forward in the boot so it sits underneath that claw. And then as I step down, you know, that time it got me there. So that's in the ski mode. Sometimes if I don't get quite lined up there, where I'm a little bit behind it or not quite lined up square, if I step down and it misses me, all I need to do is keep pressure on my toe so that I can get my boot down and forward. And then that'll get hopefully lined up so that we can step in there. And then touring mode on this is super simple. You know, I primarily ski resorts, but we do have tons of great backcountry terrain around here. So when I do want to go touring, you know, this is kind of the binding I take most of the time because, you know, it's on my skis that I like to ride in the resort a lot, and I may never use this touring mode, but this touring mode is the exact same mechanism from the 22 Designs axle bindings. So if I have a ski pole, if I got a ski pole right here, and I just stick that ski pole in that front mechanism and just lever backwards, that's going to release this binding into the free pivot mode. So, you know, for me, this is plenty of range of motion, similar to the axles, similar to a Black Diamond 01, you know, most of our, you know, even the switchbacks from Valet still, so pretty standard as far as kind of our normal free pivot tour, releases that spring tension. The mechanism is super simple up here. It's one piece of metal that slides back and forth. If you ever did deal with icing problems, you can get to this to clear it out. Getting out of these bindings, I usually go from the inside so I have a line of sight, but I got to get my heel up off the ground, otherwise this doesn't have anywhere to rotate. So heel up, ski pole here, release that there, and then we can twist out of the binding. So, you know, I think from a functionality standpoint, the step in is super easy. The ski performance is great. For me, I like the adjustability, I like the option for brakes, and I like the fact that this, in my mind, is kind of the best of both worlds as far as resort use or potentially backcountry. Some of the other options, like, you know, these are awesome resort option. These are certainly options in the backcountry with the tech pins. So, you know, those are kind of my main bullet points of like, why do I think the Outlaw X is the best telemark binding for me, is laterally stable, step in, brakes, very adjustable as far as the flex goes, and just the overall build of the binding. It's a very simple design. It's very industrial. There's not a lot of parts to go wrong. If something does end up breaking, 22 Designs got a 2-year warranty. You know, if you buy this from us, we're able to facilitate a lot of that warranty process as far as replacing parts or anything like that. So, you know, you can definitely buy this with confidence. That's kind of my brief summary of why I think the Outlaw X is great for me. Just a reminder, we got until Monday, November 30th for our Freeheel Friday sale. So we're going a week long. 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time is when that coupon code will expire. So I would say if you're looking for new gear, give us a call, shoot us an email, swing by our store, and you might as well take advantage of a sale to get you out on some new gear this winter. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. As always, if you ever need anything telemark, freeheellife.com, Freeheel Life on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and the Telemark Skier by Freeheel Life page on YouTube. We'll see you next time.